But a bit of an aside, for those people who are on Facebook, and I think it's actually on YouTube as well, one Craig Hart, who's actually racing in the Senior A division this afternoon. Craig Hart's posted a fantastic video up on the internet of Nunawading circa 1994, and you'll see a younger Dan Doyle working the half pipe at the Nunawading Skate Ranch, doing a bit of handstand work and a few airborne entries into the ceiling off the half pipe. That's worth watching if you've got the internet at home. We're getting back to the race at hand. We've got Murray Lazenby, who's trying to keep the pace turned up right from the get-go here and stretch this group out. It's Murray Lazenby, Tony Court and Igor Zambelli. Dan Doyle slotting himself into third. He's followed up by Adam Goodwin, and Hayden Malcolm takes the advantage there. It's Lazenby, Doyle, Court, Malcolm, Goodwin. Then you've got Manassian. Well, it's Adam Goodwin finding the floor there. Unlucky to do so because I believe he found the floor last weekend at Dandenong as well. Now, my golly, tell you what, it feels good to get in my race uniform. Now, Dan Doyle at the front, Hayden Malcolm it is that's with him as Murray Lazenby's got a little bit of work to do to get himself back on to the wheel of these two. Quite the driving pace out there. That and the scattering effect of Adam Goodwin hitting the floor has blown this race all over the floor at the moment. Your leaders are right here in front of camera right now. That's Dan Doyle and Hayden Malcolm. They've got, well, just a few metres because Emmanuel Manassian has thrown a move on Murray Lazenby and bridged the gap to these two up the front. That's going to give Lazenby a bit of a draft to put himself back on there if he plays his cards right. And Tony Court on his home court right here at Bayswater is about 10 metres adrift of that front group and going to need to put a few tough ones in to get himself into contention here. But it's still Dan Doyle with a point to prove, trying to use those turns of speed that he has. I'll tell you what, they're not frequent, but they are powerful, and he's put a 5 metre gap into Hayden Malcolm right there, right before his eyes, and he's left Malcolm and Manassian in his wake at the moment. The question is whether Dan Doyle can hang on at that pace by himself and finish it off. 15 laps to go. He's gone from a long way out here. Whether he's just testing these two out and he plans on running the bait and switch a second time, or whether he's looking to go solo the whole way. But it is all Dan Doyle right now out the front. Emmanuel Manassian and Hayden Malcolm just in their rhythm, trying to minimise the damage right now, while Doyle's being quite aggressive on the front. I'm not going to peek over the barrier and take a look at that, but there's a helmet becoming Nick Lamonte. He's up and looking like he's not going to continue. So Nick Lamonte's come unstuck. I think he might have stepped on a witch's hat coming out of that corner and met with the wall over here, which has had a bit of a disturbing effect on this race as well, because Dan Doyle now has found himself sandwiched between Emmanuel Manassian and Hayden Malcolm. He is back with the lead group, and the medals on this one are anywhere but decided at this point. 8 laps to go, so we're inside 10 to go. Still hard yards to be done by Murray Lazenby and Tony Court, but it's not impossible. Only got about a straight to our 3 leaders. We've got Adam Goodwin and, not because I forgot your name, Igor, but because I yawned, and that's not because this race is anything but exciting. But it's Igor Zambelli and Adam Goodwin who are doing some work out there to maintain things. But the pace appears to have gone up a little bit of a notch. It's the long legs of Emmanuel Manassian who are striding out, turning things up by a couple of kilometres an hour at the front. Not a lot of laps to go. 4 laps to go when they come around. So whether these guys have got petrol in the tank to throw a pass at this point, that's the big question. Dan Doyle looks at it and he's managed to get through. Manassian's going to have to answer the call. There's the fast feet of Dan Doyle and the long powerful strokes of Emmanuel Manassian, but he is drawing away a little bit as Dan Doyle. Hayden Malcolm's fallen out of the equation right now. Only a couple of laps to go in it, but Emmanuel Manassian is not letting go. Dan Doyle is only tantalisingly ahead of him. One misstep on the corner could cost either of these guys their position. Dan Doyle's going to go into the last turn first. He's going to narrowly hang on, and I mean narrowly, over Emmanuel Manassian. Third is Hayden Malcolm. Fourth, Murray Lazenby. Fifth, Tony Court. Sixth, Igor Zambelli. And seventh, Adam Goodwin. And an honourable mention to Nick Lamotte, who came unstuck during that race and was forced to withdraw.